Welcome to the Bitcoin Stat Show, a weekly video podcast where we bring you all the info you need on the world of cryptocurrency. I'm Will Francis, this is Sam Billingham, and this is Ashley Ford. And whether you're mining, trading, or just fascinated by digital currencies, here's all the news and info you're ever going to need. So let's look at the big stories of the week. The big story of the year still rolls on and it still dominates the news of cryptocurrency. It's the apparent identification of Satoshi Nakamoto by Newsweek. There's been some interesting developments this week. The writer of the story, firstly, she's basically gone into hiding because the Bitcoin community has essentially threatened to do all sorts of horrible things to her. And she's practicing her shooting skills at a friend's lodge in a remote location.
Like you do.
Although she says she doesn't feel threatened physically, she's still saying that she's practicing shooting.
Do you think it sort of shows up the Bitcoin community as sort of immature, vindictive?
Ruthless.
Kind of ruthless, yeah, but also just lacking a bit of...
social etiquette.
Yeah, social awareness. I mean, an awareness of what a journalist's brief is.
A little bit, but this happens so often now with stuff on Twitter where people just get flamed for anything they do. Like, it's no different for the Bitcoin community doing the same. I think that they just feel this is the same problem with anonymity. They feel like they can say whatever they want.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing with the internet.
Yeah.
No, what I mean is that's the whole thing with the internet. You know, the internet is, you get trolls on Twitter. You know, you get people trolling people on Facebook. And, you know, because you're, communicating through this third party.
Absolutely.
It removes the social etiquette, really, from the way you communicate with people.
Do you know what? Just as a tangent, I only passed my driving test in September. People are exactly the same in cars. Particularly in London.
Because you're surrounded.
They're in this bubble, and they're totally different people. Like if you bumped into him in Waitrose and Clash Trolleys, sorry mate, sorry. You know, your organic courgettes, all right.
Yeah.
But it's like in their car, they're like honking their horn and like showing their frustration. It is exactly the same on the internet, and the Bitcoin, any community, whether it's the Game of Thrones community because a new characters being brought in, or Bitcoin community because someone said something about it, they can get very vindictive.
I think it is amplified by the fact that the majority of the Bitcoin community see themselves as anonymous.
Yeah.
The group anonymous?
No. Just in terms of that they all use pseudonyms and they think that they think the currency is anonymous, although we know it's not necessarily. So that's probably amplified the amount that they are taking it out on this person.
Yeah, it's true. And do you think that the Bitcoin community, anybody who's been involved in Bitcoin for a while, feels that they've got a kind of right to it, and it's like very personal to them. Yeah, I think, and they take everything a bit personally. Yeah.
Well, I think as well a big point of this is they feel like they've put this guy's life at risk because they were saying that if it is Satoshi Nakamoto, then he has $400 million. Like, you don't just go out and say that people have that much money.
And effectively, he's got the keys to the machine. He is Willy Wonka. Potentially. I mean, that's what she's saying. She is saying.
I mean, he can't do anything to stop it now. No. But he's a genius. Like,
that's a good question. What could he do? What power could he hold over the
Bitcoin.
Currency?
The biggest thing that he could do is that he's got a lot of Bitcoin.
Okay.
So he could.
He's estimated to have about 10%.
Yeah.
I
think slightly more than 10%. But that's 10% of the total supply there'll ever be. I think maybe not. Okay, maybe it's just 10% of what we've got now. But still, that's a lot.
So if it's 10% of the total, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's got like a.
He would own.
I think he's got like 1.3 million or something like.
But in its current state, he would own a huge percentage because it's not all out.
Yeah.
So it's not all being mined or released.
So is that power because he can sway the market? He can sway the price. He could sway.
Well, anyone with
you can sway. Yeah, you can sway the confidence in the market pretty easily because you could just decide to dump them all.
Yeah.
And then the price would just plummet. But you'd have to have buyers.
But does he have any technical hold over? Does he have the keys to any machine? Can he affect the way that it is generated, mined, anything like that? It's completely.
Not that we know.
The ball's rolling, isn't it? And no one can stop that.
Not that we know of. I mean the.
And not that people have been through the code like many times now, and they've rewritten the code from scratch in different languages. And so there's. It's not like he could just decide to shut Bitcoin down.
No. Exactly.
Because of the blockchain and copies of the blockchain and all the rest of it, and the transactions that have already happened.
Exactly. And that's because, in theory, that's the beauty of it, and the beauty of a decentralized currency that no one can have that power, even its creator. Okay, so talking about facts.
Yeah.
Satoshi Nakamoto, well, Dorian, the guy that is in the Newsweek piece, he's now got a lawyer. He's clearing his name. He's actually using the lawyer to clear his name. He's put out an official statement to say he wasn't the creator or anything to do with Bitcoin. But the Bitcoin protocol was published in a paper via the cryptography mailing list in November 2008 with the author named as Satoshi Nakamoto, but there are many of those people with that name officially, and that could just be a pseudonym. The interesting thing is, since the Newsweek article came out, an account supposedly linked to the actual inventor of Bitcoin, i.e. someone who used the email address from which the first Bitcoin software client paper was pushed, did leave a comment on a Ning page last week stating, "I am not Dorian Nakamoto," as if he kind of came out of the dark. But that's kind of unfounded. We don't know how solid that is.
But then if this guy was that, really intelligent and into the community, he could have posted that.
Yeah.
But then again, no one knows.
We don't even know if it is one person.
Yeah.
No,
it
exactly.
could be under this name.
Pseudonym of a group or something.
Yeah.
Could be a cluster of 4 or 5 people.
There's been some other big news this week.
Yeah.
Blockchain.info is currently down. There's a screenshot on screen of what you can see at the moment.
Well, hang on, to clarify, it's not down.
Oh, it's down. No, I know it's down.
Yeah, it's not down. They had a database outage.
Yeah. It's still out though.
Yeah, MySQL error.
Yeah.
What was it, 624? 635?
I don't know, I can't remember. Hang on, I've got tattooed on my arm.
Yeah, they had a MySQL database issue. And they're working at the moment to migrate the data across.
And they're pretty good to let everybody know as soon as they can.
Yeah, and they did explicitly say on their blog that they haven't been hacked. This is not no one's lost anything. All your wallets are safe. This is just a technical problem.
Is my wallet in there? Is your wallet in there?
No,
but they don't store your keys. So
oh yeah,
if you've got it set up properly, you could still get your bitcoins out without them being online.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, which is nice. The way they're set up like that and the way they've handled this, I think, has been really good. I don't feel like my Bitcoin are at risk.
Yeah, it's the only online wallet you should use.
And I think this is the way they've responded to this problem is really important for the community, because companies like this have to be really transparent, especially in an industry where there is so much secrecy.
So, is there any cause for concern here?
No cause for concern.
Panic?
Andreas has got it covered.
Right, so we reckon they've got it covered and your bitcoins are safe. Do you know what? I think we need a new section of the show, ATM Watch, because every week we report on ATMs cropping up, but we do because they are a sort of a great indicator of Bitcoin infiltrating the physical world, and manifesting in bars, coffee shops, train stations, all over the place. Last week we talked about one in Shoreditch at a popular coffee shop. This week, 2 machines opened in Tijuana, which is a popular destination in Mexico near the US border. And they opened on Monday, but the interesting thing is they deal in Bitcoin and Dogecoin.
Yeah.
So you can trade your hard-earned dollars and pesos for Bitcoin, but also everyone's favourite meme-based currency.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to wait until Auroracoin machine comes out.
Yeah.
You might be able to get enough for one coffee.
Exactly, yeah. Anyway, we'll come to Aurora in a bit. Sad times. Now's probably a good time to remind you that the Bitcoin Stats Show is brought to you by Ashley Ford, Sam Billingham, Will Francis, members of the team that bring you the Bitcoin Stats app for iOS and Android. You can download them both now. And there's also more versions coming for more platforms. Stay tuned.
That's all we can say for now.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, it's exciting. Let's put it that way. But we've got some great features on the way as well.
We do.
None of which I can reveal on the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not even all of us know about the new features.
Yeah, not even me.
Lockdown features.
Yeah, it's on lockdown. And you know, this week another online retailer announced they passed the $1 million sales mark. So last week we talked about Overstock, the popular online store, doing $1 million in sales. This week, TigerDirect.
TigerDirect.
So they
Based
sell
in Florida.
technology.
Closely behind Overstock as well.
Yeah. I think that'll be I mean, you're only going to get PR out of that for so long, but that'll be a thing we'll see a lot of companies announcing they've hit milestones in terms of sales, and I think it's great.
No, it's another promising, upturn for the community.
So let's look at this week's movers and shakers.
Yeah.
Auroracoin, we're counting down to an airdrop in about 5 days from the time of broadcast, and basically half the currency will be shared amongst the Icelandic public, or those who care to apply for free Auroracoin.
Yeah. The banging noise is our Bitcoin machine being installed.
Yeah, that's it. Our Bitcoin ATM being bolted to the concrete floors.
Yeah.
So yeah, Aurora, I mean, that is an interesting story. So basically, we invested about 2 weeks ago as the price was going up. I don't know what that is in dollars. It was going up at it was at the $60 mark. It went up, almost hit $100 per Auroracoin. And then it plummeted to more like sort of 10 below.
Yeah, it went 20, then 10, then I think 5 was yesterday, and now it's bounced back up to
So it's
like
bounced
13.
back up, and it's doubled in price in the last 24 hours, and people are starting to plough in now. As someone who invested at around about 6-7 times the price it is now, I'd love to see it go up, but as Ash says, that's crypto.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Forgotten his line.
We're working on a catchphrase.
Yeah.
And we've had some actually good public feedback to that's crypto.
Yeah.
Still up for debate.
It's still very much up for debate. I mean, look, the thing about Auroracoin, so yeah, it's a plus 94% rise in price 24 hours.
If you're playing like riding the waves though, that's a big
uplift.
That's a big uplift.
You're absolutely right. If you are just, I think the mistake some of us make, and I've been guilty of this, is not riding those short-term waves, trying to invest longer term. And really, if you've got a pot of Bitcoin, maybe moving it from hour to hour between different cryptocurrencies. But that requires a time. It's kind of a full-time job.
Yeah.
Well,
It's not time I've really got,
and you will lose.
Oh yeah.
And undoubtedly you'll lose, but you'll lose maybe on one, but you might make 2 times return on another.
I think
so. It is it is really
you
like
can
a
see
fine
uptrends,
balance.
and you can tell when to bail, and overall you will win, but it just takes time, and it's whether you think.
Well, overall you might win.
You might win.
Yeah.
I would say, well, look, this show does not guarantee. What's the disclaimer
We don't
on
give
this on the app?
financial advice.
Yeah, we don't give financial advice. Don't invest in Bitcoin.
This is just for
don't
fun.
invest in alternative currencies. But if you wish to,
Jump
I'm
in.
not saying anything.
Right. Please don't make any financial decision based on the information in this show.
More details and terms and conditions can be found on the website at www.bitcoinstats.co.uk/terms-conditions. Any questions, you can email us at feedback@bitcoinstats.
No reply at.
Exactly.
Anyway, so what are the top 5 movers this week in the world of cryptocurrency?
So at number 1, we've got Bitcoin Script.
Script with a Y.
Script with a Y.
Oh, yeah.
137.29%.
Wow, it's big.
Yeah, that's Dodge.
Number 2?
Number 2 is Lottocoin.
Lottocoin, which gives out random rewards.
Big random rewards.
Yeah.
And that's plus 95%.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Auroracoin.
Yes.
Market cap is obviously 151 million.
Which we talked about earlier.
That's had a 94% uplift. And then at number 4, we've got BitGem.
Yeah.
BitGem.
74%. And Myriad Coin is at 63%. And just out of the top 5, in 6th position, is Blackcoin, which we talked about last week. And that's currently at 58%. So the big changes in terms of negative,
Big droppers.
the movers, the
Losers.
shakers, the losers in crypto.
Talk to me.
If you're holding any of these coins, you've probably
Yeah.
got a sad face
Dump.
going on.
These are on the dump list.
Earthcoin, minus 32.5%.
So it's not as extreme at the bottom end at the moment, is it?
It's
No,
not, but I
that's-
mean, I'd say 30% is a huge shift down, isn't
It
it?
is.
So, in second position is Topcoin at minus 31%. And then we've got Bytecoin, which is minus 28%. In fourth position is Spaincoin, which is minus 26%.
I can only imagine
Spain
why.
coin is basically a rip off of Auroracoin.
For Spain.
Yeah.
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 And then in fifth position we've got Peseta Coin, and that's down 25%. So they're the big movers and shakers.
So what do you think? What do you think the big stories will be next week? Just out of interest.
Auroracoin's obviously going to kick up a bit of a storm, depending what happens, good or bad.
Yeah. So we'll be reporting from the airdrop next week.
Yeah,
Although it might take a few days to kick in.
I know.
It might not happen like
No,
all of a
it's not
sudden.
good. I
People
mean,
have got
yeah.
to redeem them, then they've got to try and get them on an exchange to try and sell them.
I think part of the, that's clever marketing in a way, because they've called it an airdrop, as if it's like, jumping out of a plane, parachute, all hell breaks loose, wind in your your eyes are streaming, you're plummeting towards the ground, and in 30 seconds you're going to be on the floor and it's all going to be over.
In actual fact, it's a web form.
Yeah.
But
In
you could
actual
quite
fact,
easily
yeah,
see an up and then a down and then
Yeah.
all this going on.
It's going to cause fluctuation, I'm sure, but and it's quite interesting that because obviously Auroracoin had a huge uplift. We saw the massive wave that we all tried to ride, and then it's really gone down. It started to kind of level off a little bit, and it's had a bit of a rocky couple of days over the last few days. But I think when the airdrop happens, you might start to see those fluctuations more. They're going to be more
Got
of
a big swell
sine
coming
wave.
in. Get your board ready.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be interesting, but we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. Any other big stories you think we can expect?
Next week, I'm sure we'll be talking about Satoshi Nakamoto. He seems to be a regular.
I know he's a regular
He is.
on the show
He
in
is.
spirit.
Yeah.
Give me a call, Dorian.
Yeah, I mean, we'll keep an eye out for ATMs, and hopefully we can bring you some live, not live, but some shots from maybe inside the Station Cafe.
Yeah, so we'll be out on the street next week looking at Bitcoin in the physical world.
Bitcom, as Satoshi likes to call it.
Really?
Bitcom.
Bitcoin.
Bitcom, yeah.
yeah.
Stay Bitcom.
Yeah, exactly.
Bitcom.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for joining us on this week's Bitcoin Stats Show, brought to you by the team behind the Bitcoin Stats app, helping you track the price and all the news around Bitcoin. We'll be back next week with more news and features on the world of cryptocurrencies.
And in the meantime, stay crypto. Yeah, that's Will, that's Sam, and I'm Ash. See you next week.